Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Selamat siang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for participating in this presentation today. So we are happy to have you all here. Please let me introduce myself first. My name is Mila Andrea Safitri, and I'm going to be the moderator of this session this afternoon. So we see there are already so many people here. I'm so glad to have you all here. And then maybe for the beginning, for the start, I'm going to show that we are having some rules over here. So all the participants can participate in this event with happy, with safe, comfort, and then we are going to have a very interesting and memorable presentation today. Let me share. I hope you all can see my screen right now. So maybe before I show this, the host already show the Zoom rules for everybody. Maybe I have to read it so that we can clearly see the rules over here. First, access to Zoom opens 30 minutes before the event starts. So it's already 2 o'clock. So right now we are already starting the event right now. Participants' IDs in the webinar are expected to be using the real names, not device names or institutional names. Yeah, so maybe for the participants who hasn't changed the name on the screen, so you are going to give you some time to change your names, and please use your real names. Okay. Number 3, participants must dress modestly and behave politely when the webinar is being held. For convenience reasons, the participants are yeah. Number 4, all participants can ask questions via public chat by stating the name, origin of the institution, and to whom the question are asked. The moderator, which is me, will read the question for all participants. And number 5, certificates are distributed to participants who take part in the event from the beginning to the end of the webinar. And please fill in the feedback link, which will be distributed via chat forums 30 minutes towards the end of the event. Participants who do not fill in the link will not get the certificate. So please notify in the chat room that maybe the host will share the link for you to fill. And then, of course, please feel free to give us feedback so the event will be getting much better and better in the future. Okay, next, this is the event rundown for today. We are going to start at 14 o'clock, which is 2 o'clock p.m. And now I am opening the event, and then after this we are going to have a prayer session for about 5 minutes, and we are going to have welcoming speech from the host, and after that we are going to be followed by a presentation from the speaker. Today we are going to have 5 speakers, which are we have 4 guest speakers from many countries all over the world, and then the last speaker is going to be from Venus University. And each presenter will have 20 minutes to share the PPTs, and after that, we are going to see the another speaker, and the talk show and Q&A session will be held at the end after all the speakers are already presenting their PPTs. So after that, we are going to have a little closing and maybe a wrapping up sentences from the speaker. And I am going to close the event. And maybe the last thing we can do is having a photo session together. Yeah, so we can memorize this event in the future. Okay, today event, which is SDGs Asia Summit 2020, and this is the day one at 10 November. We have the tagline for today, which is creativity and innovation to improve condition in global cities and communities. So we will have five presenter. The first one is Dr. Kaish Q Khan. I'm sorry if I misspell the name, Dr. Kaish. Dr. Kais Q Khan is a trainer with 10 years of corporate and academic experience, along with a doctorate in English linguistics. He specialized in soft skills, English exams, career counseling, and business communication. With multiple international courses and conference paper, he takes keen interest in training through internet and social media as well. His academic coverage includes engineering, law, MCA, BCA, management, and biotech. And then the second presenter will be Professor Yusria Alhamshari. Professor Yusria Alhamshari is a lecturer of applied linguistics in Department of English, Faculty of Education, Damanhur University. She is interested in discourse analysis, political discourse analysis, contrastive studies, sociolinguistic, phonology, and translation. She has taught different courses, including phonetics and phonology, conversation, writing, grammar, listening, error analysis, stylistics, contrastive analysis, linguistic, and psycholinguistics. She is the author of the book Teaching via Internet, Design and Implementation. She is an accredited trainer in FLDC Center Damanhur University. And the third presenter will be Sarah Merino Munif. Sarah Merino Munif is a teacher researcher at Faculty of Languages, BUAP, Mexico. She holds an MA in ELT and specialization in teaching Spanish to foreigners from the University of Jaén, Spain. She has participated as an instructor in different training programs and in developing and evaluating different programs. Her main areas of interest are ICT, training, and evaluation. And the next presenter will be Mr. Dramane Odrahu. I'm sorry if I misspell because this is very cool and difficult to to spell. I'm sorry, Mr. Dramane. Dramane Odrahu completed his college studies with a master in foreign civilization with a focus on British and American literature in civilization. Passionate for education, he joined the teaching profession as an ESL teacher and later on as principal. A few years later, he worked as program coordinator. Enthusiastic about contributing to more change in the field of education, he earned the Fulbright Scholarship in 2016 to study comparative and international education as Teacher College, Columbia University. As a graduate from Columbia University and currently employed as Country Program Director. And the last but not least presenter, the fifth one, will be Mrs. Octaviana Silvia Caroline Rombe, which is a lecturer in the School of Design at Bina Nusantara University, Jakarta, Indonesia, and a founder and CEO of an Indonesian coffee value chain named Kopi Kecil, which operates in Indonesia and the United Arab Emirates. She is an architect who graduated from Parayangan University, Bandung, Indonesia, and the Catholic University of America, Washington, D.C. She is currently pursuing her PhD in Sustainable Urban and Regional Planning at the Faculty of Built Environment, University of Malaya. on research in the area of Indonesian local wisdom and sustainable value chain supporting community development in areas of Indonesia. She will be presenting a paper or research which have a theme as coffee value chain, seed to cup, a circular design approach. So that will be all. And then for the long story short, we are going to present the first presenter, that is Dr. Kais. So please, Dr. Kais, are you already here? Yes.
Yes, I am. Thank you for the kind introduction. And
You're welcome.
I'll be here in a few seconds. That's the countdown. It's such an honor to be the first speaker of such a wonderful event called the SDG Asia Summit 2020. And I have brought to you one of the latest experiences that I got by employing creativity and innovation in the field of education to help the communities and the cities of the globe, of across the world. The pandemic has hit everyone really hard, schools and colleges the most, but as Binus has just displayed, if it has laid sights on conducting a conference, it will get conducted irrespective of whatever problems come in the way. So we have breached that gap. We have come across, we have brought together wonderful galaxy of participants and speakers from everywhere. I see my friends Dramaine and Sarah from Mexico and Burkina Faso. They're also with me on this panel. And today I'd like to talk to you about how gutsy group of English learners who really wanted to be there as a part of the learning experience, they did not get stopped by the entire process of closing of schools and institutions. So this is what is going to be my focus today. And it is titled according to their emotions and to as per their feelings. They said that we want to speak in English. That I is very important. That denotes the incomplete skill set that they have, and that the one that they want to bridge and to come across and to be a much better a person in terms of English speaking. So they had their dreams, they had their intentions, and they wanted to make it felt. They wanted to get their message across, the demand fulfilled, and their level increased. And we, as the organization that helped them achieve it, are very pleased to do so. So let me lay down the background as to what actually happened. There's a big shortage of teachers in a chain of schools, Quran schools. They number more than 300, and just that much in India. Okay, so in 2018, we introduced a new curriculum. The curriculum was to get these learners to speak English, also to learn maths, also to learn an extra language apart from memorizing the Quran. So we wanted them to go one notch higher. We wanted them to become at par with many others. So what did we need? We needed good English teachers. That was the first and foremost requirement. Maths teachers available everywhere. Language teachers, plenty. But English teachers, and that to good English teachers, they were scarcity. So there were scarcity of candidates. We did not get enough applications to come and join us in order to help us with this mission. And then there were relocation problems. Even if someone came up and said that, yes, we are ready to assist you with this sort of a mission, they were not ready to move to the location where that instruction was to be delivered, where the education was going on, where the Quran school was located. That was in a different place, and the speakers hailed from different places. So in order to go and settle down there among the students, among a new city, that was something new for them. Everyone wants a cool job. Everyone wants an easy job, one that can be done from the comfort of a hometown, from between the family members, in a very relaxing environment where climate does not interfere with you, where you get the right kind of food, where you get the right people to gel well with. And relocation was a big problem. However, even if we overcame that, there was still a deficit of quality about how to maintain quality in this case, how to get the right speaker to give the right accent. We have an accent problem everywhere, though it is the very last thing that should be taught and worried about in any kind of a scenario. Still, it is a problem, the problem of accent. So having said that, I would also like to tell you about the kind of things that we faced while we were doing the recruitment. The process was basically applied to us. We are going to have a look at your resumes. We are going to see how you are going to be a part of the problem, the part of resolving the problem, but that could not move fast enough. We had fund shortages, we had location issues, we had quality issues. All of this was going on in one channel, and in the other channel the demand was rising. The learners were starting to demand, we need good speakers, we need good teachers who can help us become better speakers of English. Now this was something that needs to be addressed, had to be addressed immediately, because time was passing fast. I'll tell you about the second part, where actually why this demand was rising, because it was a course of English, spoken English. It was hitherto unknown in that school. And that school, the focus was just learning to read Arabic, stage 1. Stage 2 was to memorize the Quran. Very noble things, very high, lofty targets, but still it was just that much. It was everything for some people, but some people had a different set of demands. When 30 branches out of the 300 branches were authorized to run this course, the other 270 asked the question, when is our time going to come? When are we going to have this English course? So in order to fulfill their demand, we had to look at what was driving them for this. So we got to talk to them, and we came to know that the reason for this demand is primarily the prospect of becoming an English speaking hafiz. So the hafiz, the huffaz, the memorizers of Quran are usually people from rural background, middle class and lower middle class. See, it is a very problematic situation where the best professions, where the best engagements of a community, the Muslim community, has to be fulfilled from the section which is not economically empowered, which is not resource-wise empowered. So the dreams are really high on one part, and the actions, the pursuit of the dreams is taking place in an altogether different dimension. So we see Hafiz who want to be the speakers of English at the same point of time. They wanted parity with the students of English medium schools. They see around them their cousins, their brothers, their siblings, their friends. They are studying in English medium schools. They have a particular level of English proficiency, but these people are not at their level. So they wanted parity. They wanted the same level. Also, English, knowledge of English, speaking good English, that gives you a social acceptance and a kind of a self-confidence that can be excelled only by possessing huge amount of money. And now money is a far different dream than this. So how to get that? Learn English. So they even came up with candidates like, we don't have teachers. Would you like to hire this teacher? Can you conduct a session for this teacher, interview this teacher? So that community requirement was actually acutely felt at that time. So only one branch got a full-time teacher at that location. Let me take you further. We see that how to get over with this situation. For that, we had to see who are we catering and in which manner. There were three types of institutions that ran under this school chain. One was residential, second was non-residential full-time, and the third one was non-residential part-time. All of them were closed. Pandemic shut down all of them. Government orders, you cannot function. You can't get students together. You can't get students below the age of 14 in a closed room. You can't get them in any campus. Closed. Still it is closed. And we were clueless about how to go ahead with it. So creativity kicked in, necessity kicked in, and remote classes started taking place, but not in English. That took place with their Quran courses. The Hafiz, the Qari, and the teachers started teaching whatever they were continuing already. English was not being taught, hence it did not get into the curriculum. But calamity, it becomes an opportunity. And soon a solution was drawn up. What was the solution that we came up with? What was the much awaited shakeup? This was the reformation that took place in the wake of everything closing down. We set up a dedicated office. We put down innovation on how we can manage the technology along with the requirements. So we set up a dedicated office to start English education, spoken English courses among the students of the different Quran schools that we were running. So in this case, we did a survey to identify certain things. Number one, we had to see which students were already started. There was already schooling among them. They had already done that. And then they have access to technology, because if that is not done, the backbone of our solution, the backbone of our innovation, technology, if they don't meet, we cannot proceed. That was our problem. Having done that, we also saw that we should be catering to the bona fide students. We just can't go ahead and talk to any person, right? Everyone wants to do this. Everyone wants to do it for free. They want to get the best resources. Good teachers, good English teachers, as I already mentioned, are a scarcity. So if you get good teachers, then of course you can take your mission forward. So that was the thought, and that was something that we had to achieve. So we needed to ensure that we are teaching only the bona fide students of the school chain that we wanted to, not everyone. Because then when you try to teach everyone, you actually teach no one. If you try to achieve too much, you achieve nothing. So this was the student side. We got technology friendly or technology accessible students who are somewhat schooled, who know a little bit of English to start off with. And this was spoken English. We did not want literary skills, but we want some sort of a comfort zone. I'll come back to where we got the challenges here. Then comes the most important part, the part that was the original problem, lack of teachers. Dr. Mila is listening to me, and so are a lot of other teachers there, Sarah, Dramain, Hassan, etc. These are all English teachers. They all know that the importance of a good teacher. They know that if the teacher is not suitable enough, capable enough, interested enough, the mission objective will not be met. So we did a roundup of the various volunteers that wanted to teach with us. We did not promise them any salary. It was voluntary. It was totally up to you. Even the infusion, the amount of money that you'll put it into your technology, to the system, to the connection, internet connection, the accessories, the equipment has to be yours. So it was totally voluntary. So we roped in part-time volunteers. We checked the level of English. We want to check whether we are going to supply the right level of grammar. If you give the wrong teacher, especially in English, you are going to end up with a student population that has been trained, but exactly with the wrong skills. And that you would have achieved the opposite of what you set out to, right? So the part-time volunteers were roped in. A filtering process was taken through. Even if you are volunteers, we still have to see. And finally, 4 people were identified. 4 people to actually run this course. In the people on the other side, we had a list of students. A lot of students, 400 students. Okay, now 400 students had been taken from a mass total of 15,000 students. 15,000 students were surveyed. Out of them, 400 students were identified who fulfilled the requirement, the criteria, and they were put into groups. Okay, 4 groups where these 4 teachers are going to teach. Now, is one teacher going to teach 400 students? 100 students, 1 per 100 students. We knew that technology is going to come in, timetable differences are going to creep in. We knew that people are going to drop out. Dropping out is a very big problem in every educational scenario, especially in the poverty-ridden lower middle class group, where people have to work, where technology is not accessible, where people, when educational goals are easily given up. Struggle is there for employment and livelihood, but not for education. It is there, but it is not at the level that we see in the other sections of the society. So that was, the grouping was done, and the teachers were allotted, and they started monitoring them centrally. This started in September. Classes took place according to the students' requirements, but the turnout was not that encouraging. It was not that great. Why? The parents went to work and they took their devices with them, the phones with them. It was primarily being conducted over phones. The phones were off, they were not accessible, so that the teachers were left to teach in the evening hours. Evening hours, everyone understands that they are on the devices. Lot of network congestion, lot of drops. I'm so lucky my connection has not dropped yet. I am still connected to the huge galaxy, almost 300 plus beautiful people loving knowledge who are in touch with learning. They are still there, but that's not the case with my students. There is huge network issues, especially people when they are from the semi-urban or the rural locations where network strength is very weak. But we have been sustaining, we have been carrying on, we have been enduring this sort of situation. What were the gains? Now I'm coming to the final 6 minutes of my presentation. And this is what I want to tell you as what we achieved. The gains were not much, but it's a beginning of a pretty good journey. First of all, the community expectations were met. They were being told that the English course is coming. It's on its way. It will be here soon. It will be given to your children. Your kids will benefit, but they were not able to see it. Pandemic, the online courses, and they were finally seeing at their homes children sitting with their phones practicing lines in English, trying to get their accent right, trying to get the grammar correct, trying to get the confidence that is required to come up on camera. And we are a very media friendly course. The course that we designed gave us the independence with twisting or tweaking the kind of a resource that we can present. Thanks to Zoom, thanks to background application, thanks to screen sharing, thanks to audio sharing, thanks to WhatsApp, thanks to sharing the video recorded on Zoom on WhatsApp, so that the students who missed it can still get the practice at their homes. That way, the community expectation, the parents who wanted to see their children learn good English inside the framework or network of a Quran school were finally being met. Also, the demand supply chain was being met. We were getting teachers, as you remember, you can recollect, in a different city, not for the city where the school was located. But now the teacher could sit in their place and still meet not just the demand of one location, of one school, of one center, but across others. Our teachers who teach, their students come from the four corners of the country, sit down at 8 p.m. in the evening and carry on the class with a teacher sitting in a city where there is zero student for that school. This is the unique demand supply chain that has been set. Second, the interest in the students has been kindled. Now it has been ignited. Now they are more engaged. They want to carry on with the main course, that is the Quran school course of Hifz and Nazira, in a much more excited, interested, engaged manner. They want to continue because they're assured that if we keep being a student of this course, we'll keep getting this course, spoken English course. So this training program has actually delivered. Learner needs are being better understood now. Now we know how much they are. We were earlier doing the surveys. We were in no touch with the student. Only the authorities told us how the students are. But now we actually get to know what the students are, where they are positioned, what they can do, and where they can go. And the best part, it's cost-free. We had volunteers, we had the parents' mobile phones who already have a data pack, an internet pack, and we had already teachers with the internet pack. So no expenditure at all. Just the expenditure for time. We needed time to do that, and that took place. Thankfully, it happened. So this cost-free solution was actually achieved. So this is just 5 things that we have observed. There might be many more benefits. There might be many more challenges, but we are ready to face them because we have got 2 things on our side helping us: creativity and innovation. In the future, we want to take this saga, this journey of success to this thing that we want to, on the reopening of the physical classes, when the schools reopen in the geographical locations, we are still going to continue with the remote classes. There will be at least 25% of the 300 schools that are there in the chain who can actually get it done in a way that the classes will be remote, that teachers will still be in their location in the cities, but they will be able to deliver into the classroom. One-on-one classes can be given to the advanced ones, the ones who are already speaking well, the ones who show promise and a kind of a proficiency that can be met immediately, that can be carried on. We can also see that if we can create videos, archives, we can create language libraries, we can have audio recordings, very specific. See, we cannot use, there are certain restrictions. We do not use music based material in the Quran schools. That is a limitation for us. Whereas a lot of material out there is added music, at least in the beginning phase it is there. And finally, the challenge of helping the non-tech last learner is also there, and that challenge can also be met if we can continue to be in touch with this student community. So I am at my
Excuse me,
19th
Dr.
minute and I
Kaish.
see,
I'm
yes,
sorry, you
ma'am.
have 2 minutes more for
Oh,
your
I thought I had
presentation.
1 minute more. Yeah, thank you for giving me an
Yes.
extra minute. So this challenge of how to reach out to the non-technical, the student without access to technology, and the last learner. Who is the last learner? The last learner is the one who sits in the last bench, who does not participate in the class, who is shy, who is diffident, who is bereft of the skills and the background and a kind of a domestic scenario, a helpful domestic scenario, the one that can help them with all these. I mean, parents who are supportive, siblings who are encouraging, a kind of a society that does not mock you, that does not laugh at you, but pats your back and says you're on the right path. So that last learner is the challenge. The non-technology enabled students are our challenge, but we are assured of reaching out to them, because now that the network has expanded from India to Indonesia, and from Indonesia to all the various parts that will be connected to us, to me after this session, hopefully that is going to be of a great help in the future to resolving the crisis that is coming upon us. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you for the upcoming questions at the end of the session in the Q&A part, and thank you for your patient listening. Over to
Thank
you.
you, Dr. Kais. Wow, very excellent presentation. We are very happy to listen to your presentation. That's very great experiencing. Okay, maybe I want to ask extra time. We are going to have a little break because maybe I want to explain about the event right now we are having. So we are now having a SDGs Asia Summit 2020. Forgot my bad because I forgot to explain about the event in the very first place. So the organizer of this event is Community Development Academic, or we can call it CDA, of Binus University, which aims to accelerate joint learning and help to overcome the compartmentalization of technical and policy work by promoting integrated approaches to the interconnected economic, social, and environmental challenges confronting the world. CDA works closely with United Nations agencies, multilateral financing institution, the private sector, and the civil society. And the CDA have a very great mission, which is SDGs Asia Summit 2020 provides a forum for academia, government, civil society, UN agencies, and the private sector to come together to share practical solutions to achieve the sustainable development goals, or we can hear it as SDGs. The audience of this summit brings together professionals from the private sectors, academia, government, and civil society, along with students who are coming from the world's top universities. We welcome participants from all sectors and experience level. Simply register and thank you for coming here today, which the target of this event is almost 1,000. Yeah. And why should we attend this summit? This year, SDGs Asia Summit 2020 will be the most important and historic yet. Why? Because this is the first with a platform online, yeah. Because several years ago, the CDA already bring this event along. but it was offline, yeah, on site. Not only will the science and policy be at the cutting edge, the conference will take place on multiple campuses around the world, making it a truly global event. SDGs Asia Summit 2020 will host students from around the world, top scientists and world leaders from politics to government to the UN. We urge everybody interested in sustainable development. This is the great challenge of our age, and to come to this special event. Space is the limit, right? But we'll pack in all that we can. So let's welcome the welcoming speech from our dear Mrs. Retno Dewanti. So please welcome Mrs. Retno Dewanti to give us uh, to present the welcoming speech to all of us here. Please, Mrs. Retno Dewanti.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everybody. I'm Retno Dewanti as the Manager of Community Development of Pinus University, representing Rector of Pinus University, to welcome all guest speakers of the virtual international conference series organized by Community Development Academic Pinus University on November 10, 11, 13, 16, 17, 19, 2020. Our gratitude to Sara Marino from Mexico, Professor Yusria Al-Hamshari from Egypt, Natividad Dulce di Madraso, Philippines, Azuba Azwal Imdad from Pakistan, Professor Dato Hasna Harun from Malaysia, Chris Bruderlin from Australia, Pervin Telavia Matchmaker from India, Omar Beretta from Argentina, Verona Mendrova from United States, Neng Priyanti, SPD MED ME from Indonesia, Larissa Zaseseva from Russia, Agustina from Estonia, Dr. Maliga Marimutu from Australia, Marsan Isbayu Putra from Indonesia, Mudit Subsekaron from Thailand, Gemma Jallara from Philippines, Daniel Vieira from Portugal, Mila Andrea Safitri from Indonesia, Hamis Foster from New Zealand, Ratno Dewanti, PhD from Indonesia, Dr. Nura Abdul Elwab Dakhail from Egypt, Dramen from Burkina Faso, Dr. Kais Khan from India, Octaviana Silvia Caroline, SDM Arts from Indonesia, Dr. Pantri Haryati, SEM Com from Indonesia. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all international speakers for their willingness to contribute in this event, and also to all participants who attend this virtual conference. Let me tell you in advance regarding the objective of organizing this virtual international conference series. In words, building good cooperation with colleagues in higher education and global community to care about sustainable development goals. In a second, giving insight on the challenges faced by the society nowadays. In third, and providing opportunities to college students, lecturers, practitioners, non-governmental organizations, and other communities to support each other and improve their expertise Investing Industrial Era 4.0. As we all know, Indonesia is a developing country, and currently its development is facing various challenges in terms of economy, social, and environment. In the SDGs program, Venus is committed to empowering communities in a sustainable manner. For these reasons, Venus has continuously initiated various events, including organizing virtual international conference series that focuses on community service, which is expected to develop people's insight and capacities in order to increase the mastery of skills needed by the community itself and can provide benefits to the environment, social and economy of the world community. As we all know, the world is currently being stricken by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has an impact on the economy, social, and environment, resulting in new patterns that may not have been thought of before. Therefore, this event is expected to be a forum for ASEAN and world communities to create new initiatives resulting in concentrate examples that emphasize the contribution of sustainable world development. Currently, Venus has established partnerships with other universities in the world, spread across 31 countries and 5 continents, as well as more than 500 local and international industries, as well as partnering with many NGOs throughout the world and other communities. The focus of CSR activities carried out by Venus University refer to 9 points in the SDGs, namely no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, and partnership for the goals. Social activities carried out by Venus University are part of the corporate social responsibility framework, which is manifested through its commitment to improving community welfare. All social activities carried out by Venus are seen as innovation in the implementation of CSR according to program objective so that Venus is recognized by the community as being able to provide economic, social, and environment benefits. This is proven by the several awards that have been received by Venus regarding the success of its CSR program. Finally, my gratitude for the contribution of all speakers from various partner countries of Venus University, and thanks to all participants who attended this virtual conference series event. We are very proud of all of you and happy joining the conference. Success to all of you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Mrs. Retno Dewanti, for the welcoming speech. It's very touching and very enlightening for all of us. So we shall we continue? Okay. Hopefully the second presenter will be the same enlightening as the first presenter. So not very long from now, we are going to welcome Professor Yusria Al-Hamshari. Please, Professor.
Good morning. Still good morning in Egypt. Hello for everybody, and I'm very happy to be with you today. And thank you for Hassan and Malia organizing this event and keeping in touch all the time, responding to my questions and inquiries. And thank you for your university for organizing such a great event that really bend the gaps between people and collect from everywhere in the world. I'm starting to share my presentation, if you allow me this. I'm talking today about a very serious topic, which is social media in our life. And we cannot ignore the effect or the great effect of social media in our life. We are texting, we are calling, we are communicating with each other using technologies. And this discourse or this e-discourse for people as linguists, we call it discourse, is very serious and very critical thing for formulating our identities and our ideologies and our way of communicating with people. So my presentation is called Beyond the Text and Images, we have culture and identity in social discourse websites. Okay. We are representing our identities and representing our culture too. We are representing ourselves for the people we are communicating with through our posts and through our words or images or whatever we are posting or communicating with others using social media tools. So, with the rapid growth of communication technologies, there has been a rapid also way of communication, a new style of language that we should acquire. And we have social media tools that we should know how to use it correctly or appropriately in order to get better understanding for people and better communication for others. Thus, there is a need to understand the electronic discourse and find the reasons behind the excessive use of such tools. We have tools like emojis, like TikTok. We have programs that are involved in our communication way. So we have to understand these tools correctly to get better communication. And we have also we should know also how they are using this for communication. What are the messages behind these tools? What are the messages they are representing behind the comments or the pictures that they are displaying? And first of all, we have our identity is formed by our culture identity, with our religious identity, and our social identity. So we have three main sides for our identity are represented through the social media we are using. We are contacting different culture from all over the world, and we are communicating with different societies. And cultural resources are the basic or the main sources for giving such impression about us or about identities. Consequently, all identities need shared part or shared past to decide who belongs to where and when. We should know each other. We should know our historical background, or we should know a background about each other. We should share some points of knowledge to communicate correctly. And also, we have different contexts that we live in. We are living in different societies, in different habits, in different values and principles. So, language is used to present the reality of context. Uh, Things or words in itself, they don't have meaning outside this context, which is formed in two types. We have the cultural context that we are moving inside, and the situation context that we are dealing with people through. So these two main topics or two main types of context are formulating our way of communication. Um, so, through the context or through the societies we are living in, we are forming some different knowledge from each other. And text or spoken production of knowledge is based on mental models of individuals' experience or events. At the same time, these models are shaped by the existing knowledge and are shared with general attitudes and ideologies for everybody around us. And now we can see that people are in the south and west and the global are communicating. So we are connecting cultures together. We are bringing the Australian people to the American people. We are bringing the Arabic people to the other societies to connect together with different knowledge in minds. And also these different knowledge in minds formulate different beliefs inside our minds and formulating mental models in the form of beliefs that allow us to link personal ideas and attitudes with social outside the discourse. People are reading our minds and are reading our beliefs through the knowledge we are presenting through the social media. These different beliefs are also transferred into different behaviors. We are acting, we are performing through the beliefs inside our minds. So we are presenting behaviors according to the beliefs inside our mind. We can relate discourse to certain societies only through the behaviors of its participants. We can decide these people are from Scotch or from Australia or from Arab society through the behaviors that they are performing to other people. So knowledge and culture and beliefs are put together in the way of post or in a text that you are presenting to other people and forming different identities for people. What technology has done is opening cultures to share with all who can reach it. All people who can have access to the internet can access the other cultures, can communicate with other societies, can know the knowledge about the other societies. However, ideologies, only ideologies and beliefs and knowledge in our minds relates values to those who can keep them in mind. Thus, to be safe in this social media discourse or to be safe in communication with others, there is a need to understand electronic discourse quite well. There is a need to get back to our correct stored knowledge through translating, publishing, representing good stories and literature of our societies. We have to identify our societies through the good stories and the good literature we have about it. There is also a need to correct beliefs and ideas and attitudes by sharing our good stories. We can correct the beliefs of others. We can correct the knowledge stored in the other's mind by representing the good models of our societies and so on and so forth. There is a need also to correct the social practices. And just before the presentation, I was talking with Mr. Hassan, and he talked about the TikTok. The people are using TikTok to present their identities. They don't know the effect of TikTok on others. We are having some fun. We are having some comic performance, but real action or real performance give a brief idea about the character using TikTok presentation. There is also a need to revise the published translation of source for beliefs and ideologies. And for myself, I have revised some websites representing some tafsir or some explanation about the Quranic text or about the social practices of Egypt and so on. And I find a little bit some mistakes on understanding words. So here, what should we do to be safe in this social media context or social media discourse? We should understand the main features of communication in e-discourse. We also should understand how these features are used by participants and why they are using them in such way. We should define the reasons behind the use of these particular features. We can teach our students as educators and people responsible for educating people and forming ideologies and forming knowledge in our students' minds. We should teach them how to represent themselves and represent their ideologies in social media. The significance of this topic is very important. So I can summarize in 4 main points. One should keep up to date with new features of the new discourse and the change of its nature and style of communication. We should always revise the up-to-date styles, up-to-date tools. We should revise how to use it in order not to misuse it and present misunderstandable personality or identification. One should focus on how technology can change the relationship between language and social practices that construe the ideologies and beliefs that control life of users. One should also have a practical guide for reading posts and features of new communication for better understanding of young generation and their ideologies. If we are reading the reasons behind posting, the reasons behind using TikTok, the reason behind posting images of themselves and photos, so we can communicate better with them and change their minds and attitudes. Also, one should provide users with awareness and ability to select and make decisions for communication with others. They should have the skill of selecting posts, the skill of selecting words. In linguistics, we say it word choice. We should have the skill of choosing the words that should be posted in our social media websites or profiles. Core points and this topic or this idea is that the relation between text and image is not illustrative. We are not using images to explain text or text to explain images. We are making mix between them to give a message behind the text or the message behind the post we are using. Also, selection of what is presented to match what is meant, choosing types of moods of presenting the message. The mood may be a color, maybe an image, maybe a text, maybe a music file, maybe whatever the mood of or the tool I'm using to present my message. Language, again, is not the only mode for constructing meaning. So we cannot only use text. Now we are using different tools or different things to represent or to construe the meaning of messages we would like to post in social websites. Each mood addresses a certain type of perception and understand a message and understand the message behind using it. If I'm using flashing colors, if I'm using movie or a screen of a movie, so I have a message behind this tool or this mood of presenting my idea. Each mood addresses a certain type of perception also to understand the message, the perception inside the mind, the knowledge inside the mind. I'm presenting a mental model of myself. So I'm selecting colors, I'm selecting text, I'm selecting words according to the mental model inside my mind. The credibility of image is not so simply as a source of meaning making. It is evaluated by the meaning it represents. And the credibility of images are evaluated by the colors, the text inside, the focus of screenshots, and so on. Coherence and cohesion become a matter of color, harmony, and emotional and excessive emotional items. No punctuation inside the images. We are using images such easy without punctuation, dots or commas, and so on. So images show text and textile and color highlights the meaning. Um, I makes the decision of communication. Once I use my eye to read the post or to read whatever in the social media, so I'm having a decision of communicating, responding, giving posts in response for this or not. So our eyes are responsible, or visual side is responsible for making decisions for communicating with others. To sum up, there is a severe change in the linguistic features used in the e-discourse, and as linguists, we are responsible for analyzing this side. And this e-discourse attached with excessive use of different forms such as pictures, programs or apps with comics or jokes for communicating and commenting. We have word letter replacement, like we use the word for, the number four instead of the word for. We have the letter U instead of the pronoun you, and so on and so forth. Pictures and comments are mostly used to represent the user's sarcastic and optimistic comic ideologies. We are reading people through their messages. We are reading the knowledge. We are reading the identities. We are reading the whole society of people representing posts. Some of the reasons behind using such features is due to the lack of language accuracy and mastering rules, easiness of free writing without rules. We don't care about spelling mistakes. We don't care about pronunciation. We don't care about anything. So social media gives freedom to contact without any commitment to any rules of language and so on. Also, the new form are characterized by features of the written or spoken text. We can use emojis that are moving and presenting something like jumping or singing or laughing and so on. So the written text becomes more spoken more than written in the social media. Both reader and sender of the message are using the same style, not only because of having the same culture, but not only because of having the same mental model knowledge, not only because they are connected to each other in a geographical area, but also because they both agree on language use and master its techniques and can easily exchange and interpret embedded messages or read the embedded messages in the text post. The unawareness of users of how to keep language rules and features to save this language. You are responsible for saving, for example, the Arabic language. You are responsible for saving the Indonesian way of communication. You are responsible for saving the rules, the structure, the principles of language by using the correct text and the correct ideas you post. Also, as an outcome of this, we have false ideologies and identities are represented for everybody. We are posting smiling and we are feeling painful. We are posting comics and we are pessimistic people, and so on. So we are representing something is not real, something is not true for people around us. Positive sides of social media should be considered in academic life. That is the idea of my presentation. We have put this in consideration to use social media in academic life. We should guide our students to know how to use social media in academic way and change the social practices that we talk about, which is not correct and which is not appropriate for the communication in general. Thank you. This is my presentation. I have finished. And I repeat my thankful words for Milia and Mr. Hassan and the organization committee for this great event. And I wish, inshallah, success for everybody in this event. Thank you very much.
Wow, big thanks to Professor Yusria. This is very interesting and very present issues and phenomenology in all over the world, I guess, yeah. Especially for the youth, maybe, Professor, because nowadays we can even let our phones go for even seconds away because we
Yes, you really find yourself join some groups and you don't like it. You find yourself in a global
yes,
fashion in a global.
exactly.
So you are imposed by technology inside the message. You are
Exactly.
responsible for the people around you. What happens to you if you find yourself in a place that you don't like to be in? So you have to change the attitude. You have to change the beliefs that it's not correct to post people or to join people or to link people for positions they do not like. This is one of the
Exactly.
ethics of using social media, and this is, I think, absent for all of young generation. Thank
Exactly.
you.
Thank you so much for the inspiration. It is very important for us, not only for the youth and the elders, yeah, but already for kids also maybe because
Yes,
the user of
because
TikTok
yes,
already
we are
spreading.
bringing up a new generation. We should
Yes,
give them guides or broad lines for dealing with each other, and I think this is very important more than the older one or the adult because they already know how to communicate, but still the young people do not know how to communicate with social media.
yes. Hopefully, we can discuss more in the Q&A session later.
Yes,
And
thank
we are
you.
expecting a
Uh,
question from all of you guys.
Thank you.
So,
I'm stopping my share. Okay.
thank you so much, Professor. Okay, let's continue to the next speaker. So we are welcoming Mrs. Sana. Are you ready? Hello, Sana Merino. Hello, Mr. Hassan. Can you help me?
Yeah,
Oh,
Miss Sarah.
it's
Yeah, I already
already
made you as a
becoming
co-host. Yeah.
co-host. Co-host. Okay.
Ah, yes. Now, could you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
very
hear
clear.
you.
Hi, good afternoon,
Good
and
afternoon.
and good morning in Mexico. So, it's a pleasure to be here. Should I open my camera?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay.
How are you,
Yes, I can.
Miss Sarah?
Yeah, good. Hello. It's nice to see you all. I'm in Mexico, so in Mexico it's 2 in the morning. So, yes. But it's a pleasure to be here. I will share with you a little bit of an investigation I did with teenagers. So I hope you find it interesting. Also in the line of using technology. So may I start sharing my screen? Well, no, you're going to say something else, right, Mila?
No, it's all yours now. The stage is
Oh,
yours now.
thank you.
Look forward for your PPTs.
Yes. Okay. Can you see my presentation now, right? Okay, the title of my presentation is Fostering Teenagers Speaking Skills by Using ICT. I did this presentation with a teenagers group in the Access Micro Scholarship Program sponsored by the US Embassy. We have that program also in Mexico. The thing that we have, as the other professor mentioned, is that we as a teacher should be prepared for working with the students with all this technology. But sometimes, okay, thanks to the pandemic, we are using technology more than before, but it's the way we use the technology. Okay, so since some years ago, I was doing the research, or I was trying to introduce technology in my lessons. And so the idea here is that we need to know more our students, no? Because we think the students are the same like some years ago, and they are not the same. We have different students, and they they have different interests, like Professor mentioned before. Their mind are in different places, and they don't take care about cultural background and many other things that we should help them to focus on, right? So I don't know if I will be able to share a video. Yes, I think I can. Okay. Okay, so what happened with the video? What happened with this baby? Someone can write on the chat what happened with the baby. And the first, she has a magazine and then she has an iPad. Did you see that she used this finger? I tell my students that it's the magic finger. We have learned that with this finger, we can do whatever we want. No, we can reach any information and do the activities and all these things. So we need to be very conscious about what we can do with the information. And our students are those kind of babies. They know how to use technology since they are very, very young. So we don't need to lose that idea in our mind, okay? So if we have that kind of audience, we need to know that teachers through time, we have done different things to catch a student's attention, to help them to learn, and with different things, no? Through life, you see my pictures here, we use different, we have different way of communication. So now, I will move this. Variety of curricula tend to require variety of information sources, variety of information forms and types, student-centered learning settings based on information access and inquiry, learning environment centers on problem-centered and inquiry-based activity, authentic setting and examples, and teacher are coaches and mentors rather than content experts. So now we have different role in this part of the world. We just help them to reach the information. We are not the maximum authority, so we just help them to reach the knowledge. So in this research I'm presenting to you, I have three main objectives that are to examine the speaking improvement of a group of teenagers when using different online sources outside the classroom, to give students the opportunity to hear and record themselves many times, of course with this academic purpose, and to know the progress on students speaking while hearing themselves when using online tools, especially in the classroom. So, and I have two research questions. I think we were three, but I don't know where's the other one. How do online tools help and motivate students to improve speaking? We use speaking because I will explain later that teenagers mention that speaking is one of the most difficult skills when they are learning, especially English. Now, they can write, they can answer exercise, but when you ask a question, it's like, they don't speak. No. So that's why I focus on speaking. Two, what mistakes persisted after using online tools to improve speaking, for example, rhythm, fluency, pronunciation, and so on. So as I mentioned before, not just me as a teacher of the class, there are other authors that consider that speaking, since not knowing how to speak it effectively, leading severely our careers, possibility, and personal. So speaking is very important because you can say that you speak very good English or you are very good at English, but if we don't speak, it's like difficult to believe that, no? Because in real world, you need to speak, you need to talk with people, you need to interact. But when we have, a lack sometimes of confidence when we are speaking, is kind of difficult, right? So the communicative character of language is characterized by its functionality, that is the specific use made of it is the dimension of social and human interaction. So it is necessary to develop communication skills in the classroom by focusing on the students' needs and creating activities to promote the use of language in real communication scenarios. So we need to provide students with those contexts or help them with the tools to practice speaking outside the classroom, because in the classroom, probably, I don't know if you have more than 20 students, 40 students, it's quite difficult to give them a time for speaking. Speaking is quite difficult to do in the classroom. If we have fewer students, it's easier, but not all the time. No, here in Mexico, sometimes we have class of 40 or 50 students, so it's quite difficult in 1 hour to let them all speak. So we need to give them more options. So the participants of this research was a selected group of 26 secondary level teenagers that were given this scholarship, this access. They were part of this access program. The mother tongue was Spanish, and the age was between 14 and 15 years. So they were very young, and they have a A2 or A1 English level according to the European framework. So that was the the background of my students, and those are my students. So those were my students. So we were uniform because we were part of this special program with logos. So they felt part of a group, of a family. So they were all together, and I mean, this community was constructed, but we need to practice more on speaking. The methodology we use qualitative and quantitative. And for collating data, we have audio recordings once a month. And we use two tools called Buckaroo and VoiceThread. I don't know if you have heard about this, and I can show you how to use them later. And also at the end, we use a questionnaire online for all students to track the opinions. So the results of my research is that answering the question, how do online tools help to motivate students speaking, is that some of my students said, I feel better if I practice speaking by myself because I don't listen to me, but sometimes it's good because I can realize my mistakes. That is very common when we are learning a language. No, we hear others and we criticize sometimes others' mistakes, but what about ourselves? So we need to be conscious about the process of getting our own language. So the other students say, I pay more attention. I will understand me by myself, and I won't worry about what other people think about how I speak. I can see my mistakes and correct them. That's the idea, self-correction, self-awareness of the production. I am calm and safe. I don't get nervous. I can speak and study with no pressure. You know, for some shy students, it's better to practice by themselves at home to have that room for improving. So one questions, I require questioning, would you like to continue using internet to practice English? The majority, of course, say yes. And this is the tool called VoiceThread, and what mistakes persisted after using online tools. They don't have a lot of mistakes. Of course, they were young students and they didn't have like a high in language level. They were required to have A2 or B1. Some of them have B1 or B2 at the end of the program. So, and we use this tool. Some of you know how to use it. But the result of I did, yes, this one. I used this Booker to record the last activity. And in this one, it's very nice because
we were all shy and only some knew us. When Marco, with his voice of a radio...
Those are my students saying what they thankful for. I think it was a Thanksgiving activity. I used this thank you picture. So here I gave the instructions. This is me with my pictures. Of course, I was the only one who added a picture, you know them. But they were recording what they were thankful for about their life or I mean, all related to Thanksgiving. And the other tool we used was Buckaroo, is this one. You can use it. Both of them are free. You just click here and start recording and they send it to you. I mean, They are very easy. Even in this virtuality, I use these kind of tools. They are very useful. And my students, they have, I mean, they are very, um, how can I say, engage with the activity, because they can be in the first one in this book. They are conscious that all students in the classroom, from the classroom, are listening to them, not just the teacher. It's like when they are doing this writing and you use peer feedback, when they are conscious that somebody else is reading them, sometimes they pay more attention when they are producing writing. Is the same with this listening. They get conscious about the audience that are listening to them, so they prepare more. In the case of Buckaroo, they can record many times the track until they think it's a good one. They send it to me, but it's just for me and them. In this one, in VoiceThread, they know that everybody is going to listen to them. So as a conclusion of this research, we have that security when speaking in the classroom, they feel more secure. Students' motivation by using online tools to practice EL. Yes, they are more motivated to using ICT tools for practicing language, because as it was mentioned, now students consider that technology is just for having fun, and they don't realize that they can use technology, they can use their smartphones for learning, for improving language. So they were very motivated to continue using different tools for improving language. They want to continue practicing speaking using online tools. Especially, I think those shy students that they don't like to speak in the classroom, that they are like, oh, I don't want to speak in front of everybody. So they want to be alone by themselves, trying and trying. So I think it's a good way for cover all students' learning styles. They still want a teacher to support their learning or practicing. That's something important. Even though they can practice by themselves, there are many tools in the web where they can practice or can be corrected, even the pronunciation or fluency. They like to send the assignment to someone, not to the teacher, and receive feedback. No, that's very important, because even though we have a lot of technology, even though we have a lot of web pages, even though we have, a variety of websites, students at that age, I can say, they want to have a teacher. They want to have someone who guide them, who give them feedback, who tell them what to do. No? So, okay, we can be, safe and calm that they need teachers. No? So, and doesn't matter the ICT, they need someone who support them. I have a final video. I don't want to take so long because I know someone is behind me. Just to summarize, what is the difference when we think about including technology in the classroom? The video's in Spanish, but you don't have to pay attention in language. Just try to figure out what is happening in context. It's a school, professors, students, and a principal. That's it. I hope you can tell me at the end in the chat, what do you think about this?
Dos por uno, dos.
Dos por dos, cuatro. Dos por tres, seis. Dos por cuatro, ocho. Dos por cinco, 10. Dos por seis, 12. Dos por siete, 14. Dos por ocho, 16.
Buenos días, profesor. Le traigo una buena noticia. A partir de hoy, nuestra escuela será moderna. Adquirimos computadores, lo que nos permitirá proporcionar una educación de excelencia.
week later.
Dos por uno, dos.
2 por 2, 4. 2 por 3, 6. 2 por 4, 8. 2 por 5, 10. 2 por 6, 12. 2 por 7, 14. 2.
Okay, that was the video. Someone could write what is the main idea of the video in the chat. So it's a teacher with the students, they are just repeating, and after that, the principal arrived and said that we are going to be a modern school, so we are going to use technology in the classroom. 1 week later, they have technology in the classroom, but they are doing the same. So probably that happened not in your context, but here in Mexico, that happened sometimes, that some people consider that just having a computer in the classroom, that is using technology. And it's not just, the device. We need someone, or, we need to look for the information and adapt our methodology to the students' needs and the purpose of our class. It's not just, okay, I have a presentation and we're doing the same. It's not the same. We need to change and we need to have a different interaction if we want to use it. And now that we in Mexico, we are still working now, from home, this office school. So it's quite difficult for some teachers to use technology. There were a lot of teachers that they say, I don't like technology. And then in 2020, they were like, I have to use technology, and it was not an easy change for some students and some teachers too. So now they are using it, but it's not just using it. It's not just have your class and do the same like in the classroom. You have technology, you have a lot of websites, a lot of tools to improve and help your students. So I love this picture just to finish my speaking. You see how the evolution of our students. So again, just to closing up, we have different students. We have, they don't have this reality of the heavy backpack. Now they can have all they want on their hands. So if they are changing, if the books, the devices are changing, we need to also not radical change the way we teach, but we need to adapt and we need to modify the way we teach to them, because we have a different audience with different interests and with different tools on their hands. That's it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Sarah. It's very enlightening, and this is really very present issues also, yeah, about technology, because I ever hear about that technology helps. It is a tools. It is a good tools, but it's coming back to the users. So so I am very happy to hear that. They still need teacher to accompany them, yeah, to support them. That is maybe it's representing that technology is only helping us, but they still need a position that is only held by humans. Yeah, so not all the things can be replaced by AI or something like that, or IoT or somewhat like that. Yes. So I'm still happy that they still need us as teachers.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
so much,
yes.
Sarah, for the sharing. Okay, we are going to continue and move to
Sure.
the following presenter, Mr. Dramane. Are you already here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm around. No worries.
Yay. Okay. We're welcoming you. So please start to share your PPTs.
First of all, I would like to thank Hassan and the BNS team for giving me this opportunity to be part of those who are presenting. It's a great honor after about 8 years now since we last met, that I've given this opportunity to present. So thank you so much. Give me a second. I'm using a tablet, so I'm trying to see how I can find my document and present it. In case I run into issues, I will just ask you to help present it. Let me see, it's coming up. No, this is not the, it's not this PPT. 1 second. Sorry, I'm still looking for it. Can you see my screen there?
Not yet, sir.
Hola.
Yes, maybe while we're waiting for your presentation, I would like to remind to the all participants, should you open the chat, there is a link that you can fill and give feedbacks to our event. So the students maybe are already waiting the opportunity to get a e-certificate, right? So feel free to fill and click the link to give feedback and give your certificate. Okay, how can we help you, sir?
Actually, I was wondering if you can, Hassan has my PowerPoint there. Is it possible as a co-host to share it so I can go ahead? My tablet is not allowing me to pull out the presentation.
I see. How about it, Mr. Hassan? Maybe we can help Mr. Draman.
One second. Is it possible to do that, or I will switch? I'm gonna use my my laptop, but in that case, you won't see me because it doesn't allow me to. Let me see.
If that's fine with you, then it's okay. Maybe we are waiting for Mr. Hassan's response.
Right. If we can do that, that would be great. But in the meantime, I'm running for a plan B.
Or maybe we can switch the presenter. Maybe. How about it?
Of course, if
do
the
you
other
mind?
presenter,
Do you mind,
if the other
Mr.
presenter
Dramani?
no, I don't mind at all. The other presenter can
Okay.
just.
Well, we're giving you a chance to maybe switch the tools. Maybe, yeah. Okay. Let's call the fifth presenter, Mrs. Octaviana, or we can call her Mrs. Baby, her daily name. Are you already here, Mrs. Octaviana? There
Yes.
she is.
Hello, Mila.
Hi. Because Mr. Draman is still having a little bit something. Maybe we can switch with your turn first. Do you mind?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay for me.
Okay. We're welcoming Mrs. Octaviana.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Let me share my slide. Okay. Can you see my slides, Mila?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Today I will present part of my work as a designer and also as a stakeholders of Indonesian coffee value chain, a circular design approach of coffee value chain seed to cup. But today I will not talk about coffee as a beverage that probably we need now. But coffee as part of a value chain and us as a designers using circular design approach to create a sustainable coffee value chain as part of global communities. When we drink a cup of coffee, have we ever imagined the long journey of a sip of coffee? Coffee is not just a concentrated liquid and it's monochrome, latte, cappuccino, and so on, but it's a long circuit of a value chain, and designers is the drivers of the chains. These pictures shows the coffee value chain that currently happens. It starts from harvesting, depulping, fermenting, drying, hulling, sorting, roasting, quality testing, brew, and enjoy. I highlighted two spots, the area, the green area and the peach area. It is the same value chain that I share here, in which designers are mainly works. It is the area of after roasting, the one on the green highlight, in which the designer is involved in packaging and branding, and also in the area of brewing and enjoying, in which designers involved as an architect, interior designers, product designers, furniture designers, and so on. Designers play an essential role in choosing materials that are fit for the circular economy, in the sense of not all the material are suitable for use in circular products because they contain chemicals of concern that may be polluting or dangerous for humans and environment. So it is important for us as designers to take as a stakeholders of the coffee value chain. What does it mean? What does it mean by the circular design? The circular design is designing a cycle in which resources are continuously cycled in various ways. It is a cycling process of the 3R concept: recycle, reuse, and reduce. There is no waste. The waste of some producers are cycling to become another producer resources. You can see this diagram here. So there is it's gonna be a zero waste. What is the principle behind the circular design? Here is the general concept that I adapted from the meaning of circular economy, the practice of design thinking, and the understanding of local wisdom. So here is the area, the one in the middle is the area of the circular design. It is a relation of those three mainly principles: local wisdom, circular economy, and design thinking. Here is the framework that mainly done in the practice of value chain and the relationship between research, community development, and designers and industry. I mainly divided between the area of designers, the white one, the white group here, and the area of research, the green group on the bottom, and the area of community development as an agent to connect the designers and industry with the research and the marketing area, the one in the yellow color. So these three should come together to become a, circular design. If you support in the coffee value chain that we operate now in Kopi Kecil, we believe that if you support a community-based micro and small businesses, you support a dream with a vision. There are some examples of the micro to small community-based business that we support. This is Aroma Jepara. This is the example of the research of the local wisdom design meets the contemporary living. Here is the Indonesian pattern as the idea of wooden craft products to be applied on the wooden craft that made from the furniture industry left wood in Jepara. You can see this is all the indigenous Indonesian pattern that become a modern pattern for the modern function. We use the craft as a small plate and a coffee tray. Here is another example of the furnitures that we use also in the value chain from Santai Jogja that we use in the cafe. It was designed and produced using Indonesian local wisdom and sustainable bamboo, all made in Indonesia. Here's another example that also a part of our coffee value chain. We are using the biodegradable straw that we use in the cafe that made by small social entrepreneur in Central Kalimantan named Lima. They are made from the local material called purun without any chemical involved. Here is another example that we use also as part of our supporting of coffee value chain. We are using the coffee sacks that used to deliver our green beans from all over Indonesia to overseas. It made from the natural rami. It made all manually, including the printing. We believe that the contribution of the designers and the relationship of the designers and industry, community development program, and research development as part of the coffee value chain will enhance the quality of coffee supply chain and support the whole global community. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Wow, thank you so much for the interesting presentation, Mrs. Octaviana. I'm a big fan of her Kopi Kecil cup of coffee. It's very delicious, and I'm a coffee lover. So Alhamdulillah, I have a opportunity to taste the very nice and very delicious coffee of her. Thank you, Mrs. Octaviana. Look forward to the discussion, more further in the Q&A session. Okay, actually you still have time, but is there anything you want to say more for now? You still have 7 minutes.
I will leave
actually.
That's fine. I will leave it in the question session.
Okay. Thank you so much then. Okay, we would like to say hi again to Mr. Dramani. Are you already here, Mr. Dramani?
Yes, Mila, I'm around. Let's go this time and try and see if things works as expected.
Okay.
I would like to reiterate my thanks to Buenos University and to my friend Hassan. It's been a great pleasure to see Sarah Marino from Mexico and also Kaish. We were at the University of Oregon together in 2012. So this is a great privilege and honor for me. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we
Hello?
can see it.
Great. My presentation takes like a general stance. I would like to approach creativity and innovation, generally speaking. When I was assigned this topic, one of the first things I did was thinking the participants to take 1 minute. Please, you're invited to take 1 minute and write down one word or sentence that better captures your idea about creativity or innovation. So what do you think about innovation? Can you post the one word, just one word, if possible? When posting, please make sure to choose everyone so we can see your word. I'll give 1 minute. Is that possible? Go ahead.
Okay, maybe all the participants can write down, yeah, in the Zoom chat box.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, will that take time? Just 1 minute. And if you can post, you just need to read your word out loud, just unmute and tell us what, creativity is for you. No message yet?
Professor Yusria already write down what she thought. Something new or unusual, she said.
Okay, something new or unusual, great. Another one, please. Okay.
Me, maybe?
Yes, go ahead.
Thinking outside the box.
Thinking outside the box. This is brilliant. Another person, please. I have something new, unusual, beyond mainstream, appears from creativity, valuable, free thinking. That's impressive. Wonderful, wonderful job. Great, great. Appreciate it. What else?
Belinda sent private message to me. Creativity is freedom. She wrote down.
Freedom. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. So, next slide. This is
one more. Originality.
Originality.
And unique.
Unique. Impressive. Great. So keep all these words in mind when it comes to creativity. Your words are fantastic. They're amazing. They're impressive. So I just checked at the Merriam-Webster's online dictionary, and it's almost the same, as you said. When you're talking about creativity, you're talking about cleverness. You're talking about imagination. You're talking about ingenuity. You're talking about inventiveness and originality, as other people, just mention it. So this definition that I've tried to give in one sentence is, adapted from, online resources. So generally speaking, creativity is a purposeful or deliberate use of imagination to invent or create something. This is key. This is absolutely important for students, for learners, for professors to understand that when we're talking about creativity, when we're talking about being inventive, when we're talking about originality, there is purpose and there is a deliberate use of this imagination. Everything's, boils down, or everything is a result of the imagination. So I have illustrated like 3 stages here. Number 1, you have to foster imagination. You have to visualize. You have to picture something. You can't be creative if you have an empty imagination. You don't have any picture in your mind. So how are you going to create? How are you going to be inventive? And the next thing is to use critical thinking. It's good to have ideas. It's good to have a good imagination. It's good to have something in mind, but you have to critically analyze what you have in your mind. And then the third step is to think innovatively, these are synonymous. What solution do you want to apply? What do you want to show to your community? What do you want to show to your society? This is absolutely important. And in the next slide, I'm talking about triggers of creativity and innovation. What do I mean by triggers? These are things that, cause creativity, things that can bring creativity to pass, make it happen. And creativity doesn't happen overnight. When listening to my predecessors, those who presented, starting from Kaish, you can see that everything doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that comes suddenly. They are the outcome of careful and well-designed strategies, actions, and policies driven by progress and the well-being of the entire communities of society and country you live in. So again, I have illustrated creativity here, 3 stages. First, we should have empathy. There is a strong need for people who want to be creative to try and understand, other people's needs. If you don't consider, what the need of your community is, if you don't consider what the needs of your family, the needs of your society, the needs of your country, what are those needs? If you don't have any empathy, I'm not sure that you will think creatively to address those issues. So the second thing is to identify given social needs or issues. Right now, we're using distance learning. It's somebody who thought creatively about addressing, any impediment in terms of education. And the person comes up with this idea of putting in place, technology. There is the need to identify the needs. And the next step, like I said before, you should design a solution through problem-solving approach. It's not, it doesn't matter how you go about solving, but what is key is the problem that you want to address. You see in some communities that people have problems, but nobody comes up with, strong, powerful solution to address the issue. And we're talking about being creative and being innovative. However, in some countries, you can see that there is no room for creativity or innovation. People do not foster that. So here is what I'm saying. Number one, creativity and innovation thrive in the following environment. Well, it's not exhaustive, but it's not a comprehensive list of environmental characteristics, but they're key. Number one, citizens, students, civil servants, farmers, researchers should be allowed to think critically to address issues that can curtail human progress. Number two, citizens, students, researchers, and scientists should have freedom to express their ideas regarding innovation within a framework that aims at social, economic, and political development. And problem solving should be built in the education system and family education. This is absolutely important because sometimes you have problem solving built in the school. However, at home, it's a different approach. So when there is no balance, when the family do not support the education at school, there is a discrepancy. For example, you're teaching students to use technology, and back home, the parents say that technology is demonic or technology is counterproductive. There is a gap there. So families should work, families should work jointly with the education system to foster critical thinking and problem solving. So what I'm saying here is that in all walks of life, education should be, should be driven by problem solving. And lastly, this is a kind of summary of what I have to say, we should make room for creativity. We should make room for inventiveness. But how can this creativity and innovation address conditions in our communities? Some people do have, high technology, but this is not for the well-being of the communities. It's used for other purposes. So hence the importance of during, this creativity and innovation towards addressing, social issues. I have come up with 5 major steps for creativity to be able to address conditions in global cities. In addition to what I've just said, the first thing is for education. When I say education, I mean families, I mean school, I mean societal education to develop servant leaders. We need leaders who come to serve the people, to serve the community and not to serve themselves. Number 2, there is a high need, like I said before, to foster problem-based learning. Education should not be rote memorization. If we want to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, we should foster problem-based learning because community, society they are wading through issues and problems. And one of the functions of human beings and education is to design solutions to these problems. Thirdly, we should build on problem-solving skills. Education shouldn't be just based on theory. It should be based on skills. These are very important. The 21st century needs skills. And we're important because we have skills. Right now I'm presenting because I have some skills that Hassan thought that, hey, listen, my friend Draman, you need to say something because what you're going to say is valuable. And all the presenters likewise, because we have skills that we can use to share with the participants. Fourthly, I have already talked about this, identify social issues or needs. You have the skills, but are you aware of the problems in your community? You have the skills, you are a servant leader, but are you open to the problems that your families or your societies are going through? And lastly, well, you have the skills, you have identified issues or needs. Now apply innovative solution research approach to address those issues. So basically, when it comes to being creative and being innovative, this is what I just wanted to share with you. And all my thanks again to you for making it possible for me to present. And hopefully one day I will be able to visit Indonesia. So thank you so much.
Amin. Thank you so much, Mr. Draman. It's very interesting and very critical thoughts for all of us here, because I see it's also about design thinking process maybe in some part of your presentation. So it will be it can be so general for all of us. Maybe we as students, as a teacher or lecturer, or maybe as a general society in our country. It's very important to have a critical and based on problem solving skill and awareness. I think it needs to be digged in ourselves, that maybe with the comfortness in our environment, so we are losing or lacking of awareness and sensitivity about what the communities need maybe. So it is a good learning for everybody. Okay, thank you so much again, Mr. Dramani. Okay, maybe we are going to open the Q&A session. I am still waiting for the question from all of the participants. And or
Bismillah.
maybe, yes.
Excuse me, Miss Miller. I've got some questions from the participants. I think I have written them down in a note, and I
Okay.
have 5 questions here.
Okay.
Okay, so I think these questions are addressed to Miss Sarah Marino from Mexico.
Yes.
Okay, so these are the questions. The first question is, what is the crucial tools that we can use to improve our English knowledge?
Crucial tools. I mean, there are many tools, online tools. Those two I just showed you are for speaking, but I don't know what kind of skill you want to practice. For example, there is one that I really like for like games or quiz that is called Quizzes. It's very nice if you want to practice grammar or vocabulary. It's very nice. It's just give the students a code and they just follow. You can create your quiz, or you can take one of the quizzes that are already done. That's for grammar and for probably vocabulary. I don't know. For speaking and listening, the ones I show you, but there are many other tools. But I think those are the most popular. I don't know if they want to focus in one skill or sub-skill. I can give you more tools. I can write the tools, those of my favorite, in the chat if you want to. I can share with you my favorite tools.
All right, thank you. So the second question is, okay, there's a difference in language using between American English, British English, and Australian English. Which one we should study the most?
Is that question for me too?
Yeah, yeah, for you, Miss Sarah Marino.
I think that's a crucial question to know what kind of English you should learn. For example, this side of the world, we will learn especially American English. That is the most standardized language, you know. But I mean, you should learn the English, or you should correct the language you like. For example, if you ask me that question, I prefer Mexican English, you know, and that's my favorite one. But is the one you like. There is one theory called intelligibility that it says that you should, some of us will learn the language when we were older, so we cannot produce exactly this native accent. So this intelligibility said that you should speak the way you can get communication. The sound closely to the real, you know, sound. If you can get communication, it's a good accent or it's a good English. But I mean, is the English? I mean, probably you love your some of you your Indonesian language and or your Indonesian English or your Frenglish or we call it Spanglish. I mean, it's good because we have our beautiful native accent and that's wonderful. I mean, but you can learn any language as soon as you get you get that communication is good, but that's up to you.
Okay. The third question is still for you, Miss Sarah. Good evening, Miss. May I ask? But is not online tools. But is not online tools to improve speaking that? I think as we practice speaking in front of the classroom, we actually practice our confidence. Since later in work, we also need confidence while doing presentation. So actually online tools are useful, but how to practice our confidence in talking while using online tools?
Yes, we practice confidence, but those tools is just to probably save time. As I mentioned before, when we have a large group, or even when we have this virtuality, you know that now it's difficult, you know, to have all the microphone opened and let them talk like in a real life. I mean, using online tool is another room outside the classroom to to support those students. I mean, it's just another tool. It's not like mandatory. You can practice in the classroom. You can practice in this um, screen classroom, and I mean, it's good. I mean, it's just an option like any other tool. It's just as a teacher should decide which is the tool, the most appropriate tool for the student needs. Some students need more help than the others. And I mean, that's up to the context.
Okay, thank you. And okay, the fourth question still for you. Okay, good afternoon from Indonesia, Miss Sarah. What is your response? What is your response to the advanced development of technology during the pandemic situation? Are you delighted by the innovation? Thank you.
Yeah, I love innovation. The pandemic is just, I don't know in your country, but in this side of the world, is like, uh, it was nice at the beginning. Everybody said, yes, we're at home. And now almost all teachers will say, no, I don't want to be at home. I want to go with my students, no? Because we are working a lot online. It's very stressing and we are overworked. I mean, a lot of work. The pandemic gave another opportunity to face another reality because probably we will be working as in Mexico, we will working from home at least 6 months more or a year. So we need to be very empathic with the use of technology. I love that value, empathic, and we need to be empathic with the use of other tools, and we need to be also empathic with other teachers and also our students, but also we need that empathy from others. I mean, um, we need to support other teachers. I mean, and other students. It's not easy to work online, and it's not easy to work with tools. So we need to, as the professor, I don't remember the name of the professor who presented before us, she said that we need to help the students to use these technology tools. And I also said that to my students, we need to be trained first to use technology as a teachers, and also we need to train our students to use technology and understand the codes and the etiquette that we need to use online and symbols, know what is the meaning, and we need to respect those cultural differences. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last question for you, Miss Sarah. Okay, I'm wondering the impact if someone does not master English.
Where or in which situation?
Okay, it's not specific, but it's the question. What is the impact of if someone does not master English?
Depending on the context. I mean, if you're not good, we need to practice. And one very positive thing about this use of online tools is that we can learn any language in our own rhythm. You know, we can be very autonomous learning. So being less proficiency than the others should be a challenging activity now because we can practice, we can find a tool or an online free course to start getting better, or grammar. There are many even tools for correcting punctuation, grammar, cohesion, and coherence online, and some of them are free. So even when I practice writing with my students, I give them those tools to self-correctness in their, academic writing. There are many tools, but as I mentioned before, we need to train our students. And if you don't have the language level you want to have, find a tool. Now there are many tools to improve any skills or sub skills that you need to practice more in. So there are thousands of web pages and free.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answers all of the questions from the participants. Thank you, Ms. Sarah Marino.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have one more questions for Dr. Kaish from Professor Yusria. Dr. Kaish, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, he can, Mr. Wisnu.
Okay, so the question is, what do you mean by accents? Do you mean Tajweed rules or pronunciation? Tajweed maybe? I don't know.
Yes, thank you for the question. Here, the accent is purely about English accent. It is not about the Quranic tajweed, the tajweed with which you speak or you recite the Quran. It's not the tajweed of Arabic. They have it fine. Even that does not affect, because in India, we do not have Arabic accent. We have the Indian accent, and the Indian accent changes every 80 kilometers. You go from one place, you travel 80 kilometers, you have a new kind of a regional dialect interfering with your language, your mother tongue influencing your accent. So that is there. So when I say don't worry about accent, I mean to say that don't worry about North Indian, South Indian, East Indian languages affecting your English. First of all, conquer fluency, get accuracy, and then maybe at a very later stage, we can worry about which accent to acquire, American or British or neutral, or maybe as we Indians are, like we are 350 million speakers of English in India. So very soon we might be the biggest group of English speakers, and that accent might become the standard. We are not the native speakers, but right now we mean the accent that is acceptable and intelligible, as Sarah Marino had pointed out, to most of the listeners.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Professor Yusria, does that answer your question?
Yes, he answered my question well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I have a question from Shifa to Miss Octaviana from Indonesia. Okay, thank you for the amazing presentation. I'd like to ask about kopi kecil. As we know, a shop must be produce waste. How the kopi kecil regulate the waste so it could pursue the zero waste? And how to ensure the shop will become sustainable? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. That is what we were thinking in Kopi Kecil, that we supposed to work together. So when the waste come out from Kopi Kecil, we already categorize the waste, and then that part is I think is our part, and after that we supposed to work together with another community that called recycling the waste as a can be another resources, or can be another resources for the another community. That's what that I was talking about. The communities should work together. Hello.
Yeah, thank you. How was it? Yeah, how was it, Shifa? Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you, Shifa said.
Thanks.
Okay. So, Miss Mila, do we still have time for the Q&A session?
Of course, we still have about 10 to 12 minutes, Mr. Wisnu.
Okay, 10 to 12 minutes. Yes, please. Do not hesitate uh, to let us know your questions. Should you have any questions or something to confirm from the speakers?
Okay, maybe while waiting for the other participants to pop up the question, maybe I want to ask to Professor Yusria. I'm really interested about your presentation because it is uh, very important phenomenon right now about social media. I want to know what you think about emojis and memes in terms of e-discourse that you already shared before. Because I am very curious because you shared in your PPT that there is some kind of no boundaries about the cultural and the social boundary for the location maybe because it seems like the netizen having the same language about the expression or the you said that the word you it substitutes by only the you letter. Nah, what about emojis and memes? I'm curious about it. You emojis
Thank
and
you
memes.
for this core question. I mean, it's very important question, really, because we sometimes use emojis that express something that we do not mean. For example, if you are joking with someone and you sent him a smiling face, and he was asking you about, about, for example, having a meeting or having some information and so on. So the message behind this emoji will be transferred to meaning that you didn't mean. He may understand that you are joking, you are refusing, you are, so he can't read the message behind the emoji unless he reads your emotional state, reads your status of seriousness or status or of comics or what's your position in this place? Are you joking? Are you making comics? Are you serious? So he should respond using another emotion, like I'm ready, like using his arms and so on. We have a lot of emojis that express responses. If we would like to express that we are strong, we use the arm. If we express our love or our seriousness, you are using the two hands for praying or for saying prayers for inshallah and wish you the very, very good luck and so on. So emotions are used to express our responses, our correctness of reading the message we got from the talks or from the text we receive from the other side. I mean, if I correctly interpret the message behind the text, I will respond using the correct or appropriate emoji that express my understanding or that express that I got your message and I really expressing my response or what I mean. Did I say it or did I answer your question?
Yes, you are already answering my question. I'm sorry. What about memes? Do you ever recognize it? So maybe the people or the netizen, what do you call it? Screenshot from the expression of celebrity, maybe, and then they give a funny text about the photo expression, something like that.
Yes,
Memes.
yes. All these are tools of communication in the social discourse. So it depends on your interpretation for the meaning of these pictures or memes or emojis. What do you think about the meaning it has? It will transfer to the other side. So I will choose or select between them, whether it's emojis or memes or pictures, or even some screens of other responses, this will be interpreted in the understanding of message behind the communication. If I understand you, if I understand your message, if I understand the text you sent to me, so my response would be translated into one tool of these social tools. And the appropriateness of the tool will transfer the meaning I got from you.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any further questions from participants before we are going to open the video, and then maybe we have photo session, Mr. Wisnu? What do you think?
Yes, we'd love to, Miss Mila. And
If there are any not more further question, I guess. Okay, Mr. Dramani said sorry because he had to leave earlier because he had another call, and he said thanks for the opportunity.
thank you, Mr. Dramani.
Yeah. So maybe for the closing statement, maybe from the four left participants, is there any closing statement maybe from Dr. Kais, Professor Yusria, Mrs. Sarah, and Mrs. Octaviana? Maybe for the wrap up before I sum up some points.
I'm very happy for this meeting, yeah, because I really appreciate your efforts and your smiling face, your nice smiling for us. That gives us comfort, and it's very correct and perfect session and events. And thank you for your all organization procedures that you produced for us. Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy to be with you. And thanks for the audience who listen to us and appreciate any questions or any contact with anybody who would like to discuss anything related to the idea of social media. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Professor. From the other participants, maybe Dr. Kaish, should you have some closing statements, maybe? Or Mrs.
Of course,
Sarah and
I
Octaviana?
already
Yes.
I appreciated the wonderful networking done by us in the very first statement that I made. Like, it has proven that if it sets its sight on conducting something on a global level, at least I mean, it had everyone from half of the speakers were from beyond Asia. So it has it has gone over the title it has set for itself, like SDGs Asia Summit. No, it has gone over the title it has set for itself, like SDGs Asia Summit. I had lost connection, so
Oh,
I'm sorry if I am interrupting anyone. That's okay. That's all I had to say. Thank you very much. Thank you to the listeners. Thank you the organizers for everything.
thank you, Dr. Kais. It's been our pleasure to have you here. Okay, maybe from Mrs. Sarah and Mrs. Octaviana.
Yes, I would like to say thank you first to Hassan. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity to hear you all, my friends, and thank you to see you all, guys. To the organizer, thank you for the effort. I know that it's a lot of work to do this kind of event, but I think it's just wonderful. Thank you, Miss Mila. I mean, this sharing is perfect. Thank you, all of you. We are learning a lot. Thank you for the presentation to the other speakings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's been our pleasure too. And last but not least, maybe from Mrs. Octaviana.
Thank you so much, Mila. And also, I want to thank Ibu Retno and Community Development BINUS to give me an opportunity to share the sustainability from designer's part, which is really rare for us to have the opportunity to share us as a designer to this kind of event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been our pleasure to have all of you here. So maybe for the closing statement, I will give a little bit some words about the situation of lately we are having. It's about pandemic situation, but I hope it is not stopping us from being innovative and creative and critical about the situation around us. Even though it's hard for everybody, we have a big challenge. Like Sarah said that the online classes, it must be very hard. And I also can feel what you say, Sarah, yeah, because we as lecturers are doing as well the challenges. So we as academia, as a government or maybe civil society and students, hopefully being an agent of change for the future of our countries. So please don't stop being critical, being creative, and being innovative, because the challenging situation is an opportunity for us. Yeah, like Dr. Kai said there earlier that calamity means opportunity. So we have to be very positive in every situation, because yeah, we are human with all the heart, empathy, not only clever and smart, but we already have given heart, yeah, by God. So we should be very what do you call it, sensitive, and have awareness about the situation. Okay, maybe from Mrs. Ratno, should you have any closing statement, or Mr. Hassan or Mr. Wisnu?
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Mila. I would like to say thank you to all professors today, and let us keep in touch for networking between our countries and universities or institution. And thankful for all, and thanks also to all participants. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Ratno. It's been very pleasure to have this event this afternoon. Okay, Mr. Wisnu, could you help me with screenshot maybe? All the participants, please feel free to open your video on cam, please, guys. And put your biggest smile, because we just heard the very inspiring, yeah, materials from this incredible, amazing presenters. Okay, are you ready, guys? Oh, Mr. Wisnu, you're going to be so busy because we have 13 screens here. Okay, should we start, Mr. Wisnu? Okay, put your biggest smile, guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay, everybody is smiling. I'm very happy to see it.
Yeah, I'm still capturing the picture,
Okay,
going through the pages.
Semangat.
Thank you.
Spirit,
Thank
spirit.
you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
so
much.
I'm giving back to the host. Thank you so much for the appreciation on the presenters and all the participants, Mrs. Retno Dewanti, Mr. Hasan, and Mr. Wisnu. So, thank you so much. Having a great time. Okay, is it already finished, Mr. Wisnu?
Once this
Yeah.
thing gets over.
Alhamdulillah, very.
Alhamdulillah, it's a successful day, and this is due to your efforts and your good work, inshallah.
Inshallah, amin.
Inshallah, amin.
When this thing gets over, we're definitely visiting you, Binus, inshallah. So,
Amin.
Yeah,
We're looking forward, Dr.
we're looking
Kaish.
forward to seeing you in Minus.
You are
Sure.
welcomed all in Egypt. We welcome you all.
Yeah.
Yay.
Cairo, we are
Miss
coming.
Retno, okay. We'll go to Egypt someday, yeah, Miss Retno.
I'm waiting.
Invitations
I'm
from
waiting you
Mexico.
all.
Yeah, ma'am.
I'm waiting you all.
Yes,
And once you
absolutely.
come here in Egypt, you will find me waiting you from the very
Subhanallah.
starting moment, inshallah.
Wow.
Yay.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
Any invitations from Mexico?
Mexico.
Yes, of course, come to Mexico. I'm very far away from you, but come
Yeah.
here after the pandemic, of
Yes,
course.
of course.
Of course.
Be
I will
safe.
spend 14 days, yeah, in the quarantine.
Yes, before traveling. No, just stay home. We can do it. Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Good
thank you,
morning from
everyone.
Thank you.
Mexico.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye
so
all.
much.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much for the speakers and
Thank
also the
you.
participants, Miss Mila, Miss
You're welcome.
Mem Retno Dewanti, and also Pak Hasan as the organizer, guys, organizer in Community Development Center Academic Venus University. See you in another
See you
occasion,
all.
guys.
See you tomorrow,
Yes,
inshallah.
bye.
See you. Bye bye.
See you tomorrow.
Nice music.
This is my video. It's pretty good, right? Well, it's a little boring.
Ready for Lazada's 11.11?
Pasti.
Add to cart now.